This is Unity News Now.
It's the biggest convention for minority journalists in the world, and it led off with a magnificent cross-cultural ceremony. Good to have you with us. I'm Dre Clark.
And I'm Vicki Nguyen, and this is Unity News Now. This week, thousands of journalists of color have come to Seattle for the second Unity Conference of the century. Seattle is hosting minority journalists from all over the country. Nearly 6,000 Asians, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have come together to raise issues that are important to minority journalists. This is the second time in 5 years that a convention uniting all the groups has been held.
But this unique gathering almost didn't happen. Unity News Now reporter Daisy Oviado joins us now with more on that story. Daisy?
Well, that's right. A lot of journalists didn't think it was right to hold a convention in a state that was anti-affirmative action.
Okay.
And you're NA?
NABJ. Yes, ma'am.
Journalists are filing into Seattle's downtown convention center in droves. Asians, Hispanics, African Americans, and Native Americans all here for Unity 99, a convention that almost didn't happen.
I have qualms about spending our money in a state where diversity is frowned on.
At issue, Washington State's recent anti-affirmative action bill, Initiative 200. Minority journalists not too keen on bringing support to a state unsupportive of their views. After heated debate, organizers decided to keep the convention in Seattle, and those here are making the most of it.
When we as a group said, let's go, I do believe that we should support the group and be unified and come. I'm very disappointed at those people who stayed behind and said we're going to boycott, because that's not the way to be unified.
While some have stayed away in protest, others hope to make a statement with their presence.
The thing to do is not shy away from places that take a public stand that we don't agree with. It's to go to those places and talk to people about why.
The convention is getting a lot of attention from Seattle media, and Unity organizers hope that type of attention will help raise awareness.
All right, thank you, Daisy.
As thousands of Unity participants flood Seattle, so do millions of their dollars. Convention organizers expect attendees to spend twice as much as they did back in 1994. Unity News Now reporter Roxana Saberi shows us how they'll know for certain.
Slap them on.
Here's a nice one of the skyline.
Pick them out. And add them up to a boost for Seattle's fourth largest industry, tourism. More than 5,000 Unity goers are checking in this week to what Seattle has to offer.
The rule of thumb is about $2,000 per conventioner. And if you include airport transportation, meals, besides the impact on the hotel itself, we're talking about an impact of $10 million on the area.
Unity wants to follow those dollars to demonstrate the power of minority buyers. Convention goers can exchange their money for $2 bills here in the registration area. Unity plans to track those bills.
It's wonderful. I haven't seen one of these in a long time, so we'll go and spend this money wisely.
Unity hopes attendees will support convention sponsors.
We ask people to vote their conscience, vote their dollars.
Should be a really nice view for you.
And the journalists are expected to do just that, as they fill many of the 2,200 restaurants and 9,000 hotel rooms in the area. In Seattle, Roxana Saberi, Unity News Now.
There's one thing you won't want to spend your money on. Unity organizers have put a price tag on lost convention badges. If you lose your official Unity name tag, it'll cost you $100 to replace it. This ensures only registered participants have access to certain Unity events.
Professional journalists aren't the only ones visiting the Emerald City this week. Texas Governor George W. Bush is in town. He has declined to speak to Unity. His spokesman says he had a scheduling conflict. However, other presidential hopefuls for the year 2000 are dropping by. Vice President Al Gore arrives, and former Senator Bill Bradley will speak to the Unity Conference tomorrow night.
Elections for the National Association of Black Journalists are being held this year, but there are some positions without candidates. Board members met on Tuesday, and Unity News Now talked with election co-chair Sharon Stevens.
I think what's interesting about this year is that we've had so few people running in some of the regions. We have some races that are not only uncontested, there's nobody. And the way we're trying to address that, according to our operating procedures, the regional caucuses will have to elect their own regional directors in those places where there are no candidates.
NABJ members can cast their votes on Friday. Diversity and affirmative action are hot topics in Seattle, especially with this year's convention in town. Unity News Now reporter Phuong Lam has the story.
At a town hall meeting Tuesday, the president of Unity and several panelists charged that there is not enough diversity in the mainstream media.
The topic of credibility in journalism is very important. The message tonight is that if newspapers and newscasts cannot diversify not only their hiring and news content, they're presenting a fundamentally inaccurate picture of the communities that they serve.
At the Unity 99 town hall meeting, media executives were urged to do more than just talk about diversity. Camille says the lack of minorities in the media undermines credibility of news coverage. But some journalists say that diversity in the newsroom isn't easily recognizable.
As a white journalist, I necessarily have the sensitivity to the minority coverage that a member of the community would have.
A recent survey from the Radio and Television News Directors Association shows that 19% of minorities work in television and 11% in print. By the year 2025, minorities in the media hope to reach a percentage that reflects the minority population. Gatherings like the Unity 99 convention in Seattle will help increase minority representation in the media. In Seattle, I'm Phuong Lam for Unity News Now.
The town hall meeting ended with the notion that diversity is the core of journalism.
Still ahead, controversy outside a Seattle TV station. Find out why gay and lesbians say what's on air at one station is bigoted.
And a look at the faces on camera around the country, a check on diversity in the delivery.
And it was hot yesterday, then the clouds moved in right on in. So what will happen for tomorrow? I'll let you know a little later during the complete forecast, so stay tuned.
Ever wonder why horses buck? Probably the same reason that guy doesn't want to fall off.
Tobacco, tumor-causing, teeth-staining, smelly, puking habit. I'm telling you, man, dogs know all. They're like geniuses. There's this family, right? They forgot their dog when they moved from Florida to China. So this dog, he walked all the way to California, jumps in the Atlantic Ocean, swims across it during monsoon, and found his family in China. No way. There's like billions of people in China. It's a famous story. I mean, dogs got like giant brains, and then no one thinks so.
Tobacco, tumor-causing, teeth-staining, smelly, puking habit.
Well, dozens of people gathered outside of Seattle's public broadcasting station KCTS Channel 9 to protest a documentary they're airing. Melody Gonzalez joins us now with more on that story.
Suffer the Children is a controversial documentary created by the American Family Association. The gay community describes it as bigoted and anti-gay.
As a parent, there's an organization that I love dearly. It's a group called PFLAG. Have you heard of them?
Flags, families, and acceptance. That's what PFLAG is all about. The organization is made up of parents, families, and friends of lesbian and gays to help create a society that respects diversity. And they aren't afraid to fight what they feel isn't right.
Seattle's KCTS is only one of two in the country that chose to show Suffer the Children. The other 100 stations looked at it and said, this is not a credible piece of research. We can't show this, and we won't show this. So we're very disappointed in KCTS's choice.
Tina is not only a city councilwoman, she is also an open lesbian active in the gay community. KCTS's Kay Ingram is ultimately responsible for what has become the controversial programming decision. The chief programming executive explains that this was not the station's intent.
We felt in looking at the program that this allowed us to present two sort of formal presentations of the issues as these perspectives saw them.
But the gay community called KCTS's decision to air the special irresponsible.
It's sort of like inviting people on the Jerry Springer show or the Jenny Jones show. This is not how you do reasoned debate in this community. And in fact, for this particular piece, because it name calls, because it's a propaganda piece, it really is insulting to the gay and lesbian community in Seattle.
There were no arrests. The demonstration was peaceful.
So, Melody, what's the station's response to this?
Well, they decided to hold a panel discussion where they focused on the issue at hand in the films, which was whether or not homosexuality should be an issue raised in schools.
All right, thanks. Men of color reporting your local newscast is a rarity. Twan Lamb explains why.
21-year-old college student who police say turned his racial hatred into a one-man killing spree.
Welcome back to Power Lunch.
And I think we're finally earning a spot.
What's missing from these pictures we see every day in our homes? The faces of minority male broadcasters. Minority men are the minority in TV, making up just 8% of the total news workforce.
What I find is really intriguing and distressing is that there may very well have been more minority male anchors in particular 10 years ago than there are now.
Those in the business say there are many factors causing the severe shortage: culture, stereotypes, and the lack of role models.
Only once has there been an Hispanic male on the air, and never has there been an Asian male or female ever in the history of New Orleans television broadcast news.
But the people with the power to fill these seats say that we all must take a part in branching out to the minority community.
Starts with the few of us who are working in the business. We need to take our time off and go to the colleges. And beyond that, we need to go to the high schools.
Other ways to increase minority recruitment are through programs such as Unity 99, job fairs, and training programs. It's up to all of us to make sure the pictures we see represent who we are. In Seattle, Twan Lamb, Unity News Now.
Stand by on 2.
Altogether, male and female minority broadcasters make up less than 20% of the broadcast workforce.
This week, anxious people are walking around the convention center looking for that big break at the Unity Job Fair. Job recruiters from NBC to the New York Times hope to find that diamond in the rough for their news team. Journalism students and professionals can bring their resumes, tapes, and clips to the fair to showcase their talents to their future bosses. Thousands are expected to take advantage of the chance to talk to recruiters.
Gives young people and career professionals an opportunity to come and shop their wares to everybody in the business. It's a very important and very useful tool because you actually make face-to-face contact with the people who actually do the hiring.
The job fair runs through Saturday.
Well, besides networking possibilities, there are some real superstars to look out for. Holly Berry, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, and other notable celebrities are in town participating in convention panel discussions.
If you're not busy in a workshop or at the job fair, we'll show you where you can find some fun in the Emerald City. One of the sites is Seattle's newest Field of Dreams. We'll take you inside. All that coming up and more.
The Lummi language does not have words for a lot of things. We never thought we'd need them.
Help preserve traditional Native cultures by supporting the 29 American Indian colleges.
A child is sacred, and when that child first comes into the home, the family must welcome it. And if the child is happy and feels the want, he will come into this world very, very strong. And not to know that is to know nothing.
Help preserve traditional Native cultures by supporting the 29 American Indian colleges.
This is King 5 First Alert Weather.
Well, welcome back, everybody. Looking really good on our tower crown down on Crystal Mountain. Some snow, beautiful sunshine. Great day to do a little bit of snowboarding, some skiing, anything you like. Just remember to take the sunscreen because the sun will reflect on the snow, burning up your face. You're going to have those little red noses, so make sure to take it. And if you want to take a walk over there to the Canadian border, great day to do that as well. Do a little bit of rollerblading. Take the kids outside and play a little bit of baseball with some mild temperatures and some beautiful blue skies. And as we take a look at other parts of the state, 77 degrees, and then as you head on south to Packwood, 83 degrees. They're warming up in that area. Right now at our satellite imagery, a few clouds, but they will just be passing on by. There's going to be some light precipitation, a few showers, but by the weekend, those clouds are going to be passing on by. Once, like I said again, some beautiful skies. And then we take a look for tonight. Some chilly temperatures, 54 degrees. Then we go down to 52. You might want to take a light jacket outside. And then we take a look for tomorrow. Mild temperatures, 74 degrees. 77 as we head down south. But for the beaches, a little bit cooler. 65 degrees. But some folks are up as you go up north, 78 degrees, a little bit lucky there. Then as we move more eastward, very hot temperatures, 93 degrees for the Tri-Cities. That's a great place to go do a little bit of sunbathing, get a tan, if you want to head out down there for the weekend. Then we take a look into the mountains, partly sunny skies. Variable winds about 50 miles per hour, and you're also going to see some mild temperatures about 69 degrees at the highest. Then our 5-day forecast, mostly sunny skies for today, and then you take a look for the weekend. Great day just to go out and do anything you wish. Sunny skies, warm temperatures. I suggest you do a little bit of barbecuing, anything you like. What about you guys?
That forecast really is looking good. I'm looking forward to the rest of this week.
Yeah, we've had some nice weather so far, so I'm looking forward to a nice weekend.
So I suggest you just get out there, do any little bit of hiking, anything you like.
Should be fun.
Thanks. The Emerald City is filled with lots of sights to see and neat places to be. Unity News Now reporter Elizabeth Alvarez and Stephanie Tsai have the hotspot list.
Many convention goers are asking, what's there to do in Seattle when we're not hitting the booths and checking out the Career Expo?
That's why we've decided to put together a preview package of Seattle's best sounds, sights, and attractions.
So let's get started.
There's something for everyone in this beautiful city.
Whipped cream for you?
For one of the best views, take a ride to the top of the Space Needle in the Seattle Center. There's also an IMAX theater, Science Center, and an amusement park for convention goers with kids. Another attraction is the aquarium, where you can travel through tropical waters. See everything from black-tipped sharks to seals. You can even get hands-on experience with marine life.
Right here is a sunflower sea stop. It's about the size of a garbage can.
Of course, these are only few of the attractions Seattle has to offer. Here's Stephanie with some more options on what to do.
Thanks, Elizabeth. No visit to Seattle is complete without a visit to Pike's Marketplace, where locals come to buy fresh produce, get a bite to eat, or listen to some of Seattle's best sound. At the end of the day, head into one of the city's many coffee shops to rest your feet. The nation's coffee craze began right here in Seattle with Starbucks.
So whether it's the Space Needle, going to the aquarium, or shopping at the market, Seattle clearly has a lot to offer.
And even if you don't have a detailed plan, the adventurous convention goer can simply leave her hotel room and go in any direction. In Seattle, I'm Stephanie Tsai.
And I'm Elizabeth Alvarez for Unity News Now.
There is a great deal in town called the City Pass, which you can get tourists into all the major attractions for $22.50.
Mariners fans get their first glance at the new Safeco Field. Stay with us for that and your sports scores.
Tobacco, tumor-causing, teeth-staining, smelly, puking habit.
The Seattle Mariners' new home opens for play in just over a week, but the public got a chance to see it for the first time. Earlier this week, Mark Flores takes you inside Major League Baseball's newest stadium.
Everyone wanted a chance to touch history as Seattle opened Safeco Field. And for the first time, fans saw the bright future of Seattle baseball.
I started watching baseball in Fenway Park, and so I've been kind of yearning for an outdoor park forever. And then I come here, and this is just blows me away. I almost cried when I walked in the gates. It's really cool.
Each seat at Safeco Field points toward home plate, and each is as much as 3 inches wider than the ones fans sat in at the Kingdome. It's a good thing, too. The ballpark offers everything from hot dogs to pizza for fans to eat.
The hot dog's a lot more juicier than the ones in the Kingdome. I was just telling my wife that. I haven't tried everything else. I hear the pizza's pretty good, so.
There are still some seats indoors, though. Fans can rent suites by the game starting at $80 a person for a room with an outfield view.
This is an awesome suite. And for my 21st birthday, my mom was actually thinking about renting one for me. But they're a little bit expensive, so I don't know. But it's really nice.
Even though there are fewer seats in Safeco Field than there were in the old Kingdome, the Mariners assure us that every seat in the house is a good one. And you can take them up on that offer on July 15th at opening day. In Seattle, Mark Flores, Unity News Now.
The stadium cost $500 million to build.
And finally tonight, the Mariners' new ballpark brought together generations of fans, including 24 8-year-old sluggers. Kent Park's Rockets were one of 2 area Little League teams to storm Safeco Field at the opening ceremony. And even though the Rockets won't be batting at Safeco anytime soon, they'll still settle for watching their favorite All-Stars.
Griffey, Griffey, and A-Rod.
Why are they your favorites?
Because Alex Rodriguez can run fast and Ken Griffey Jr. can hit a lot of home runs.
And what would happen if they weren't playing here?
I wouldn't be very happy. Then I would pick somebody else I like.
Well, at least they're taking a diplomatic approach to it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us here on Unity News Now.
Thank you very much. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.